Hello everyone, this is Riccardo Masini and this is vlog, and this is, here you are, Onus, the historical battle game by Draco Ideas, by the Spanish producer Draco Ideas. So a very peculiar game. Why? Because this is a game, as you see a Republican army, a Republican Roman army arrayed on the field, and here you have the Carthaginian horde. Yeah, you remember the gladiator? Yes, that's it. Okay, you see that on the table. Why a peculiar game? Because this game, well, this game is a card war game that is managed through cards, but each card corresponds to a miniature base, because this is essentially a miniature rule set, a miniature wargaming, 3D wargaming rule set. That is, those cards, they move freely around the battlefield using rulers, measuring distances, and so on. But they are cards, so they are cards, they correspond to miniature bases, and on each card you have values of the unit, as you would in a normal board war game with counters. And also orders are transmitted by the use of these cards. They look a bit like commands and colors cards, so that they tell you how many units you can activate in a turn with which bonus, and you can use that for the order, or you can use them for the event, as in a card-driven war game. More or less like commands and colors, even with some differences. Now, the more experts between you, among you, will have already recognized essentially 50 to 60 to 70% of a great system that is the battleground fantasy warfare system, that used cards like this, and also had historical modules. It is a game by Your Move Games. They're still active. Onus starts from that game, but then adds those cards. There were cards in Battleground, but they were just for the event. In Battleground, you wrote on the cards with erasable markers to manage losses, record losses, and record their orders, etc. Here it is a bit different, but it is completely historical. This is the second edition. Why? Because this is the second edition of Onus. Onus had a first edition that just the Romans, the Carthaginians, the Greeks, the Macedons, Alexander's Greek, the Persians, and so on and so on. Now it is at the second edition with some rules revision, and with other armies and scenarios set in Imperial Rome, Onus Trajanus, in the age of Trajanus. That is, you have Imperial Romans, you have the Britons, you have the Dacians, the Parthians, the Celts, and so on and so on and so on. And also you have these wonderful mats, neoprene mats. They were in the Kickstarter, all in pack by they're also available in retail, so that you can use them for your battles. This is the grassland mat, there is a desert one, there is an Arctic one. So incredible graphic style. As you see, this was already in Battleground, but in Onus, really, for me, it's really taken to just another level. It is a bit comic-like, it's a bit graphic, but not too much. I really love it, and nothing forbids you from using these as bases for your miniatures, if you want. Why? Because this is essentially a 3D game, a miniatures war game. The classical battle miniature war game with the rule set that is an average level, a good level, I'd say, miniature rule set that is made even more accessible and streamlined through the use of these components and the cards and some solutions. So you have special markers so that you can broaden your line. You can extend your front lines. It is very tactical. You have special generals, you have special events, you have lots of scenarios in each box. There is in Onus Pack, that is the first edition translated to the second edition, you have and also in Onus Travianius you have 45 battles each, and they can be played sequentially in a campaign, in different campaigns, and 6 to 7 campaigns each for each single box. They are not a dynamic campaign, you just play those battles one after the other, but taking some consequences from your previous plays, or you can play them individually just as simple scenarios, independent scenario, or you can play that with the generic point system so that you can build your army. I say it is a bit too much free of a point system, so that there is not real priorities or limitations, but the rules and the point values are fairly balanced, so it's not a problem. Maybe some of the event cards are not so balanced, but it is a very seldom, very rare occurrence where you have just that uber powerful card that really decides the entire play. It is very rare, this occasion. In general, the rule set is solid, it is very balanced, it is very playable, very streamlined. Absolutely great. The greatest thing for me is that you can have a miniatures wargame experience, absolutely, with all the image of an ancient battlefield, lines clashing, degradation, chaos, and so on, everything in a very compact box, a very playable and portable box, absolutely affordable. Why? Because a single box, I'd say it costs half of a single miniature army, while inside it, every box on the spec and on the Travianius has 6 or 7 armies together with the mercenaries, so they can be, and also there are the battles, the scenarios, there is a good online support with Excel sheets that help you in army building, so it is a very good opportunity. On one side, if you are new to miniature wargames, to try your hand in miniature wargames and see if you really like it, or if you're an expert in miniature wargames, to have just the experience of your dear old miniature wargame, but without all the fuss. You can easily transport these boxes with you in a holiday or in a convention without having to take with you all those miniatures, all those dioramas, etc. Obviously, the aesthetic impact is not comparable to a wonderful miniature table, but it is still there. Or you can also use them as basis for your miniatures, why not? Because the system is very good. The system also has a solitaire module, a very good rule book that has a very good layout. This second edition really uses all the solutions, the great solutions. I want to let you see. These are the PAC. You see lots of beautiful diagrams, a good layout. It really uses lots of modern solutions, and it is really good and is really attractive. Also, there is available, I think, in retail, an historical compendium with a description of all the different troops, and there is also a pack with terrains and fortresses for siege scenarios. So lots and lots of variety. I'd say once again it is a good solid system. It really works. I like how it disaggregates the ability to do damage, and once that ability, there is the training, the efficiency, and then the actual power, the actual strength, the actual efficiency of the weapons and the armor of the units. So it is very interesting how these things are disaggregated. So you have units that are very good at hitting someone, but not so much at hitting really good armored units. So the interactions and all the special abilities and the special formation, they are all there. So it is good. It's all there. It's all this the usual things that we love in instant wargaming. In instant wargaming, they are all there in a very streamlined and easy to use and attractive package. Also, at least for us in Europe, I don't know in the States, but I think that also in the States it is good. There's a good availability, and it is very easy to get a copy of this. At least here in Europe, I don't know in the States or internationally. I hope it is as easy as it is, because this is a very good opportunity. Also, Onus is a Spanish wargame by Spanish authors, so here and there you will find some small problems with the English translation, but they are all understandable. They're not so they don't stop you from enjoying the game. Just know that a small error here, oh okay, a small mistake, I see they meant this. They're also bug and geek as always, but it is nice. And the components you are looking at, wow, great component. Use also some gadgets such as this special dice, if you want, can be purchased separately, but a great system. And also it is a system that lets you have a very good miniature wargaming experience for a fraction of the cost, not so much time spent on preparation, and not so much space needed to store the miniatures. And after that you can go on and also begin your journey into miniature wargaming. So this is a very interesting system, a very clever commercial initiative, and I see that in the best possible way, because it is also a very good war game. There's also a lot of historical detail. Yes, there are some things that maybe should be made a little better. Some scenarios are better described than others. Sometimes you see that here is missing something. Sometimes some small things like some of the cards once again are a bit too powerful, others are not so useful. But they are very small details. In general, this is a very good rule set to have that really gives you a lot of value for its cost. So it is really, for me, this is highly recommended. I loved the battleground system, and I still love the battleground system, but I love a bit. So I find it is a bit more flexible, this use of the cards, and also use of the cards in a highly streamlined system, because just a couple of differentials, and you have a target number to reach with your d6, and also some modifiers for efficiency or for the strength of the attacker. So it is very easy to resolve all the combat, but it is also very satisfying from an historical point of view. Games, it is highly adaptable, highly scalable. This is a 1000 points play that is a medium battle, and it should last more or less a couple of hours, so it is also very good for tournaments. Great scenarios, there are 1800 scenarios that are a bit longer, and so on and so on. It should take 3 hours maximum. Now you have a perfectly historical miniature wargames and wargame that can be played after dinner with your friend in a couple of hours. Also explain to him the rules just on the spot, or they can come with you in your holiday, on your travels, or in a convention. So it is very, very interesting and a very good good title. Really, I recommend it at least to give it a try, because it is something different. It reminds me of hybrid systems like Wings of Glory, for example, that works in just that way, because every plane has its own small card that is moved freely on the field, on the gaming, on the battlefield. But also the dear old Jutland by Jim Dunnigan. It was a naval wargame that used a system similar as this, free movement. So it is a very good hybrid wargame between board wargames and miniature wargames, and it really works. It really works. There's lots of armies, lots of scenarios for every single box. So it is a very nice title. I'd say that really this is a good introductory wargame to make people understand what a wargame is, to introduce them to the hobby wargaming, and there's really good value for its cost. Really good content, lots of historical details. Yes, it is a bit generic, it is more functional than specifically detailed, especially in some of the scenarios, but it is all here and it can be adapted as you want. Once again, a very recommended title. Thank you for having been here, to having stayed with me. As always, have a good time, and remember, don't be scared, it's just war games. Ciao.